Good day, Safety Man here. I get a lot of questions from friends, family, neighbors, and colleagues about what's the best way to secure my home. I want to protect my home and my loved ones from being burglarized, let alone a home invasion where some violence happens. Just even if I'm not there, Corey, what's the best way to keep my home? So let's look at some levels. First thing, we want to make your home look not impenetrable, right? It's not going to look like the White House or the Mint or the Pentagon. We could do that, but none of us have enough money, so we got to make some trade-offs. You still got to balance between curb appeal, right? You still want your house to look nice, but we want to make it so your bad guy, your prospective bad guy, is out scouting potential places to burglarize, and he sees your house. And what is he going to see that's going to deter him? I want you to look at it from that aspect. You're driving down, walking down, riding your bicycle down the street. You look to your right, you look at a house, and you see all the shrubs are lower than the windows, so you can't hide while you're working on popping one of those low-level first floor or basement windows. So we don't have any shrubs. If we do, there's sticker bushes, rose bushes, or thorny bushes, so the person's going to have to get injured or cut, so they'll move on. And guess what? If they do try to do something, they're going to leave their DNA there on those thorns. So we don't want to make that easy access. We want lighting, LED lighting. I've had the same motion activated LED lights on the four corners of my house for probably 15 years. Have not had to change them. They're motion activated only at night. So it comes on in the dark. It sees motion about 30 yards away and lights up the whole side of the house that it detects that motion from. Stays on for about 15-20 seconds. If there's no more motion, it'll turn itself off and it'll immediately be rearmed for the next one. It's strong enough and smart enough that it'll pick up my dogs running around the backyard. All right, so we talked about not giving them a place to hide while they're working on window locks, windows, Bilco basement doors, doggy doors, or your regular door. Now we want to actually make sure we're locking effectively. We want to make sure we're locking effectively. If you have those sliding glass doors in the back, we definitely want them alarmed. We definitely want them with their own locks and maybe an additional security bar that you can buy off of Amazon or out of Walmart or Home Depot or Lowe's, or you can make one yourself. Yeah, exactly. Out of a couple old broomsticks, just to make it a little bit harder for somebody to slide that. We're worried about somebody throwing a brick through it. There are companies that sell a shatterproof film that you can put on the inside of that sliding glass door or all of your windows. It makes it almost impenetrable to being able to throw a brick through it or hit it with a bat and smash it. So our goal is to make it unlikely that they're going to try. If they try, it's going to be very hard for them to get in. If they do get in, they will had to have done it in the light because of your motion activated lights, and there's no shrubs to hide them, and they're going to have to make a lot of noise. A greater chance of you being home and discovering them, or your neighbors discovering them. Even if your neighbors aren't looking out for you and they call 911 because you're making too much noise at 2 o'clock in the morning, that's good. Bad guys know that. They don't want to make a lot of noise. They want to get in, they want to get out. Dogs, if you have dogs and we can train them to bark at suspicious people, reward them when they do it, and then teach them to stop and reward them when they stop, that's always good. They have motion activated fake dog barks. Your smart speakers, your Alexa, your Google, and your Apple HomePods, all of those can be turned that when there's motion outside or certain conditions happen, it will make them either make it sound like a conversation, turn on a TV, turn on a radio station, and start turning lights on in different parts of your house. So we have all this technology. If you're up to speed with that, you can have lights come on all different times of the day and night. You know, light comes on downstairs, TV comes on upstairs, TV comes on downstairs, the TV goes off upstairs. There's nobody home for a week, but if I'm sitting there watching that house, it literally looks that there's people ate dinner, lights were on downstairs in the TV. Hour later, those went off and then the TV went on upstairs. Hour later, that went off and then just a low light upstairs and 2 small lights downstairs. And then the next day, it's different. We're going to do the same thing. Finally, we're going to end with the actual locks we're going to use. Make sure you take the screws that are your lock plate and your lock, and those short little screws that they just get from the public store, and we want to put screws, 2 to 3 inch screws that are drilling into the framing of your house, into the framing of the house. It makes it much, much, much harder for somebody to kick that front door, that back door, or that interior garage door in. So we're going to replace all those screws. We're going to make sure we have a good, up-to-date, solid deadbolt locking system. Now we got to talk about key control. I just got done talking about all the electronics that are out there. All within the same system, you can have electronic Wi-Fi locks. So that way you don't have to give your dog sitter, babysitter, house cleaner cousin from somebody, or your 9-year-old who every one day a week has to come home from school by himself or herself. You don't have to give keys that are going to get lost or copied. You give somebody a code. My code can be 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm your dog sitter. I come over once a week for 2 weeks while you can't do it, and then at the end of those 2 weeks, you don't need me anymore. You shut it off. I show up again and try to put in 1, 2, 3, 4. It does not work, but it does let you know that I went and tried it. So now you can have a conversation, or at least have that little bit of knowledge that why did Corey come back and try the code again? So we can have smart locking systems. You could have it so it takes a picture of the person as they're coming in. Right? If you have a video doorbell, that alerts both motion. It talks to people for you when you're not there. We never wanted to say that we're not there. We always wanted to say, we can't get to the door right now. Please state your message. Things like that. All right. So that's some of the best basic tips of securing your home and making your home less likely to be a target for a burglar, or worse yet, a home invasion. All right. Stay safe, be ready. And for more information, just follow my podcast. I talk about situations like this to make us a less likely target in the vast majority of my podcasts and videos. Stay safe, be ready, and train now.